So, welcome back. Hopefully, you've all been well this week. You should hear a lot of background noise, but hopefully that's not going to disturb us this evening when it comes to what's going on here in the US of A. To be honest, we're at the Mazda Raceway in Laguna. And I can tell you now, just looking, it's going to be medium cloud. This track is about 3.6 kilometers with 11 turns. And as you can see, we're on right now. We got about 9 minutes left. The guys are going to be out on the track, and we're going to be seeing what's going on. I'm a bit of a lone ranger this evening. And fortunately, our other commentator is away on a bit of a vacation. So hopefully I can bring you into the fold exactly what's going here and happening here at Sarko this evening. It's Thursday night. The LMP2s are going to be out on the track. Yes, the grid is not looking so full this evening. We've had a couple of issues with the guys participating. Unfortunately, Dylan not available. He's in hospital, so we wish him all well. But I'm led to believe he's going to be watching the stream this evening from his hospital bed. So yeah, let's give him a big thumbs up and hope he gets well soon. So the guys are out on the track. It is obviously Ross in the red and black this evening. This track is obviously well known by most of the Project 2 car players. And obviously you can see lots of fun and games when it comes to this particular track. It is a really technical track. And I tell you what, out in the desert, and you can see already there are a couple of twitches on those vehicles happening at the moment. So let's keep you abreast of what's happening this evening. We've just had now 11, so one more has joined us. So that's going to be good, and we'll see what's going on this evening. So just as a friendly reminder about this evening's event on the LMP200s, should I say LMP2, basically 10 minutes practice, then we go into a 15-minute qualification round, and then a 45-minute race. The challenge is these motor vehicles have around about 75 liters of fuel. And there has to be some decision making made by all drivers, because they have to make a decision whether they're going to pit or not. So strategy, a big one at play, and I can tell you now it's going to be an interesting race. If we're looking at where we are in the US, in the desert, temperature is going to be affecting the tires. Even though it is cloudy, temperature on track is pretty warm. There we go. It looks as though Turbo Charles has gone into the pits. Jakes is out on the track there. Quickest time at the moment is Marius. He's done a 1:12.380, followed by Bruno at a 1:12.600. And there we are, Black Mambas. We're on board with Jakes at the moment. So he's coming up to that hill, which is then going into, here comes that big hill, and then into that big S drop, which is really the signature feature of this particular track right there. You can see it is a huge drop down there, and lots of concentration, lots of control required for this particular track. And you can see all the wits are going to have to be stimulated, especially when it comes to this particular track. There we go, through start and finish. And let's see if that time has been improved on. It is a 1:12.731 from Jakes in the LMP2 car. And as I mentioned, it's around about 4 minutes left in this practice session. So the big one's going to come up. Bruno's just gone in with a 1:11.687. So yeah, on the top of the log for him. Obviously signature motor vehicle color is yellow, and number 51 is for Bruno this evening. So let's see if he can better on his time, and it looks as though it's going to remain the same there. Marius in car number 50, teammate of Bruno, done very nicely, the two of them in this race so far in this practice session. Round about 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go. So yeah, we'll be watching quite carefully who's going to be up and showing their stuff this evening. Oh, somebody doing a bit of farming there. Wasn't too sure who that was. We got a number of guys in the pits, and that's obviously taking fold at the moment. So who is with us? Who is all about what's happening this evening? I can tell you now, it looks as though it is Bruno, Marius, Jakes, it looks like Colin, Ross, Ronaldo, Dirkie, as in Quicksilver, Rudy. Quicksilver's just moved up one position in this practice round. Rudy there, Rock, and then Turbo Charles. I knew he was going to go up to the top positions there. He's just pushed himself into the third spot there, and then Doopy right down at the bottom in 11th position. Has not yet been able to complete a track around the track, should I say. So 2 minutes left in this practice session, and let's have a look who is on the track. Yes, there we're going to go back to Bruno. Bruno is the quickest of them all at the moment, making sure that he's securing a position where he's saying, I am in number one spot during the practice session. Is he able to do this again for the quali session, which is going to happen in round about 1 minute 30 seconds? So we'll be watching that quite closely this evening. And hopefully all the drivers are going to have a great race. Lots of competition, lots of teams searching for their first wins, and I can tell you it's going to be a whole big battle going on this evening. So as we go down into the countdown in just under 1 minute, let me just go on board with Bruno, and let's see if we can go in car with him and see how he's doing. I think that's going to be quite easy to do. I'm just seeing if I've got total control. Yes, I do. As I said, we do not have a director or broadcaster this evening. Only a director, so that's why you're seeing all the information on the screen this evening. So hopefully it's going to be a good one. We'll try and take you through all of the action, and 19 seconds to go before we hit the qualification round. Let's quickly go on board with Jags. Some traffic ahead. Not to worry too much now. I mean, obviously in the quali section, he wants to make sure that he's not going to have any hindrance like he has at the moment, to make sure that he gets a fantastic qualification time. So just enjoy the rest of this, and as we go on to the next round, which is the qualification session. We're in the pits at the moment. They're just getting the cars lined up, and then we'll move into that qualification round, which will be round about 15 minutes. So yeah, guys out and about on the track at the moment. It's 14 minutes left of this qualification session. So just to give you a good overview of what's actually happening, 10 drivers current for this evening's race, 9 minutes left, and just under 10 minutes left of this racing. Let me tell you now, qualification round happening, and it looks like Marius has put himself right on top of the log there. Not too sure who we've lost, but Jakes has just moved into second spot with a 1 minute 12.532, and yeah, what an absolute smashing track put on by Marius there at a 1:12.246. Not to be too shabby on that. Let's have a look if we can go there, and there we are. We're just having a look at Marius at the moment, pushing that car to the limits, making sure that he remains on top there. And Bruno's just come back. Yep, he's got a little bit quicker, just put Jakes out into third. And there we go with a 1:12.494. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to watch this evening. As I mentioned, unfortunately I'm alone in the commentary box this evening. I was hoping to have lost it a little bit there, Marius, but there comes it looks like Turbo Charles Turbo Charles in the pits. Let me see who is out on the track. There we go. Car number 51 is Bruno. Bruno doing a nice bit of work there. Let's see if he can push his way back to the top of this qualifying session. Ronaldo in the black and lilac motor vehicle. It looks more pink to me. But there we go. He is in 5th position at the moment. Somebody else coming onto the track there. Just got to watch yourselves. Here's Colin. He's done a 1 minute 14.440. Don't think he's too unhappy with that. I think he's going to try and make sure he pushes himself up a little bit quicker as he comes through start and finish. As I mentioned, is a very technical track and requires a lot of concentration when it comes to this track in the US. Lots of pit guys in the pits, obviously looking. Bruno has come back with a smashing time there of 1 minute 11.882. So I think he's going to be pretty stoked with that particular performance. And let's see if I can just put ourselves back up to Jake, because Jake looks as though he's got a bit of a challenge going forward. Yes, he does. Maybe we can just get on board with him and have a look how he's handling things. Here we're coming through the last corner, through start and finish. And does he manage to push his time up? Not quite yet. He is in the 12s, 12.276. So 1 minute 12 seconds. And looks comfortable. Doesn't have too much problems, it looks like. Marius obviously still up there in second place, obviously going for pole at the moment, trying to get pole. A little bit off the track there. Here comes the signature corner. Here it is, and it's such a drop. It is such a drop down there, and then just takes total control, looking just to get on the curb. Here's a big one though. Goes a little bit wide, which is the correct line. Heavy on the brakes into almost first gear there, and then pushes it on. Remember, fuel going to be a big one in this one, 75 liters, so a lot of decision making needing to be made to are they going to actually pit? Is this going to last the entire race, or are they going to be having to basically take a pit stop? Normally, most of the tracks that we've been doing are around about 5 kilometers. This is 3 kilometers, so quite small compared to what we're normally racing. And you can see the signature track that we're on. I'm just really concentrating on what Marius is concentrating on, so please forgive me. But here we go. I thought as much. You have to watch yourself around that bend. If you're going too fast, you are going to lose it. So on with Quicksilver now. And as I said, maybe you didn't get that, but we were actually watching Marius going around that signature bend, and just too much on the fuel, and that's what happens. You basically get out of shape and into the gravel. A lot of soft sand around this track, so you got to just be careful. Nice and tight into that left-hander. Obviously marker boards indicating you're going to come up. It's pretty much flat up this hill, and then just getting yourself in position, hard on the brakes, and then shifting it down into almost that 40-degree turn, and then you're away. So very nicely done now, and hopefully watching exactly what's going on. So come on guys, keep messaging. And we're just going to enjoy what's happening. Obviously a lot of people wanting to know what's going on. And I'm just putting us into where we need to be. Sort of 1 minute. I'm hoping that I haven't somebody's left the session. So qualifying done. Not too sure what's going on. And let's see. So yeah, we'll be back giving you exactly what's taking place. So bear with us. We are just shifting it over, having a look, and I will bring you back online as soon as we reconnect with the guys. So don't feel too much out. We will obviously bring you online and let you know what's going on. So, bringing you back onto the track right now. It looks like Bruno just put on a 1 minute 11.738. So, nice job from him. As I said, at Laguna, it is 3.6 kilometers long. The conditions are a little bit cloudy, but it should be good for racing. So that's what we're all on. You can see the heat coming off the track, so pretty warm. It is in location-wise in a desert area. So lots of sand out you've got to watch out for. Now, here we go. Car number 2, Turbo Charles. Now looking to maybe come back and see if he can take that pole position. He's dropped back 1. Marius moved up into second place. Has a 1 minute 11 seconds and then 8.87. 10 drivers at the moment. We've got 1 DC. He'll be trying to join back in. If he can make it before the 5 minutes, he'll be in this race. 10 minutes left of this qualification round. And we should be doing very well for ourselves this evening with these 10 competitive drivers. So round about 6 minutes, 30 odd seconds left in this qualification round remaining in this session. And let's see, we have been on board with Bruno just to see if he can better his time, which he does not do. So it's 1 minute 11 seconds 738. Marius in there, he's putting 1 minute 11.887, and then Turbo Charles 1 minute 12.043. Jake's in at 1 minute 12.485, and then obviously Ross there, he's got a time of 1 minute 12.649, and then a couple of guys in the pits right now. So yeah, we're trying to get it out there, see how the guys are doing. And there we go, on board with Marius at the moment, who's just tweaked now and put himself in pole position above Bruno. It is his teammate, but even though it is his teammate, I'm sure they're going to be looking to engage a little bit more and get themselves into their own little competition of who's going to be riding in pole position this evening. Car setup, very, very important. Rock is just having a couple of invalid laps, but I'm sure that's not going to dampen his spirit. I'm sure he's looking to see if he can squeeze every little bit out of this track to bring that time down, and we'll see where he basically gets himself ending up for this evening's race. Bruno hot out on the track there, trying to get himself into that position. Jake's from the Black Mambas, obviously wanting to get himself into a great position as well. Hasn't given up yet, so I can probably say he's going to be watching himself very carefully and seeing if he can cut that time down, looking for every single millisecond to improve on his current time. So there we go. Turbo Charles just gone under the 112. Nice bit of driving there by Jakes. Coming into that area there. Let's go to Turbo Charles now. Also looking to make and see if he can get that vehicle of his into pole position. As we all know, very competitive driver, and I'm sure wanting to get himself into pole position this evening. Doesn't do it on that round. Two minutes left in this qualification session. Not much in it. Right up until the top six there. So the top six very, very closely packed together from a time perspective. So I'm sure there are plenty of guys looking to get themselves in for this evening's racing. So still on with Turbo Charles, just to see where he puts himself now. He's going to try and get it in this lap. Hopefully he can. 1 minute left in this session, so he is able to, if he does get a better qualifying time, it's going to come up on this lap. No mistakes. Rudy obviously having some issues. Marius puts back a huge time when it comes down to making sure he's top of the log there at a 1 minute 11.591. What a fantastic time that was. I can obviously see that this gentleman, Bruno, he's wanting to get himself above his teammate Marius. I mean, they are comfortably positioned at this point in time, but I think obviously there is still that rivalry between the teammates. As I said, car number 51 and car number 50. So as it stands, the qualifying session is over, and it looks as though Marius is going to take pole here this evening at the Laguna track. And let's have a look at where Bruno's going to end up now, because he could, if he's possibly put in a fantastic run. Time is running out, but he's almost there. Is he going to take pole? That's the question now. Unfortunately not. Does do a much better time, and that time did change, but unfortunately did not topple his teammates. So that rivalry still there, and I can tell you it's going to be a great race to watch, especially with those types of times that have been put up this evening. Quicksilver just completing his side, and here we go now. So just to give you a quick rundown, a nice drive from Marius. Really super drive from him this evening. Then Bruno, then Turbo Charles. So those are your top three as we go into this race, which is around about 45 minutes. Remember, strategy is at play here this evening at this race held by Sarko. Next week we have the BMWs back in, the E90 touring cars. So don't miss out next week, Thursday, around about 8 o'clock. And you can watch that live here on the Sarko channel. So just waiting for the sync to happen. Nice job from Marius there. Bruno, obviously on the grid. Let's go through it quickly. We got Marius. Then we have Bruno. Then we have Turbo Charles. Then we have Jakes. And it looks as though we're going to be A for away now, as we see them about to pull off. Sync happening. Camera watching. Lights have been switched on. Just to get that flash. There they go. Away they go. It looks as though Bruno seems to be trying to go around his teammate, and hopefully it's going to be not too much trouble for them, because they need to make sure they stay apart from one another. No incidences reported as we speak, so that's a great great start from all the drivers. No incidents really haggling. And I can tell you now, Marius does go forward in taking that position right at front of the pack. So watch out for car number 50. 51, his teammate, Jakes. Very nice job from him. He's put himself in a position where he's in third place. Turbo Charles right there looking at his position at the moment. It looks as though he's got himself just behind Jakes in that fourth spot. So we'll be watching quite carefully if Jakes is able to keep that position in third place. And all looking very good and well at the moment. No incidents to be reported by the track steward, so that's good stuff. And yeah, what a great race it's turning out to be. Jakes has just got a time penalty, so we'll be probably having a look what happened there. There goes one of the cones, so that's going to be affecting them. There we go, into the 50-meter mark there as they're going back. We're on board with Ross at the moment, just that we can see what the overview is looking like. Turbo Charles, let's move up to him now. As we go trackside now with Turbo Charles, you can see how close it is between himself and Jakes at the moment. So Jakes just in front here and is gaining somewhat in some time on it looks like Turbo Charles. Yep, so he is doing what he needs to do. There we go, through start and finish, lap number 1, actually third lap should I say. Where the heck am I this evening? So it's really going to be an interesting one to watch. As I mentioned, just looking at all the factors in play. There we go. Bruno in second place. First is Marius. And Jake's a time penalty already given. Quicksilver, let's get on board with him. Let's see where he is from Silverback Racing. So he is somewhat down the grid at the moment, but I'm sure he's going to be looking to see if he can catch Colin, who's just in front of him. Let's go on board with Colin. There's Colin there. And I can tell you now, in car number 12, here's some close racing. Definitely, maybe let's get into where we want to be, because this could be a little bit of an interesting one to watch. Yes, oh, on the outside, coming through. Great shot now. So let's see what happens. Let's go in on the car there. A little bit of give and take. Turbo Charles. I'm sure he's on board with Turbo Charles, knowing that he's got Ross right next to him. Just moving back to Ross now. And what a shot this is. Let's bring it out. So a slight mistake there. Down this huge dip, which really makes this track, it's the signature mark of this track here in Laguna. Remember, this track is in the USA. As I already mentioned, 3.6 kilometers. So it is strategy time. Guys are going to be looking lap number 5 done. And remaining time is basically Just over 39 minutes of racing left. Up with Turbo Charles, you can see the long line of individuals looking to catch one another. Jakes with that penalty, unfortunately a little bit bent out of shape there as well. He's got to watch himself because you can damage the undercarriage of these cars in this race format. As you can see, now we have that catch up by Turbo Charles, and you really have to be quite smooth with yourself when it comes to looking at. Let's go on now with Jakes. Maybe come back to Turbo Charles because that area is thinning between himself and Jakes. Pretty intense racing as we're going along. You can see the fuel there, 37 liters left, and he's averaging about 1.98. Let's just go up quickly to this gentleman, Jakes, just see where his fuel is. He's he's a little bit heavier, I would say, because he's got about 45 liters of fuel in that motor vehicle. They're clearly seen. Let's see with Bruno. Where's he? So the fuel load there is 39. He's basically averaging about 2.5 liters. And the last lap he used around about 7.8 liters. So let's see how that actually comes to play in what we're witnessing here. Let's go up now. And you can see Marius has only used around about 6 liters. I'll tell you now exactly, just got that in the way. 6.2 liters on his last lap. Back down, you can see how close Bruno is. Nice and tight. Turbo Charles. Now you can see he is actually consuming a heck of a lot of fuel. He did around about 10.07 in that last lap. So 33 liters of fuel left in this section. Electrical problems for Ross at the moment, and his fuel is way down. He's only got about 26 liters. That is if the data is correct. So now going on board with Quicksilver, he's got Colin in front of him. Is this an opportunity for him to get by? Obviously standing now in 7th position. Here we go. Does he get this area right? Very nicely done. Let's see if he can get himself in with a chance to take Colin in the upcoming lap. Now you can see he's going to try and go. Nicely done. Really looking for an opportunity there. as we go trackside. You can see the distance between these two drivers, and it is very, very nicely done by Quicksilver, looking to see if he can take an opportunity on Colin. And Colin's trying to make that car as wide as he can at the moment. So there we go, down the straight into the left-hander. A little bit of a wobbly squiggly there. Into another left-hander, which is pretty deep. Then we're going to go up the hill. And here we go. Into that 45 degree decline. Car number 3, Quicksilver, looking for that opportunity to have a close one. Distance really narrowing with every step. So is it going to be this one now where we see Quicksilver? So this is where the time's made up. Yes, you see, catching him there. Is he going to be able to maintain that? I'm sure looking at every opportunity to wear Colin down. Putting pressure on Colin, waiting for him to make that mistake. But we've got some news up at the top. Oh no, what's happened? Went over to Turbo Charles, and it looked as though he basically went into and onto the sand, which is now allowed Jakes to get that little stretch ahead of him. And that's the thing now. Let's go back to Quicksilver now. Quicksilver still hasn't managed. Oh, Quicksilver loses it. Unfortunately, car sideways. Is he going to bring it back? And that's the problem on that decline, is that if you have your car a little bit out, it's definitely going to go sideways. So that has just now all the hard work that Quicksilver's put in has been lost. Let's go back up to Turbo Charles. I did see Ross. He looked as though he was catching Turbo Charles for a second there due to that mistake. But both, I would say, both Turbo Charles as well as Quicksilver finding it a little bit challenging this evening. And there we go. Let's have a look at Colin. Colin now a little bit eased off. Let's go down to Rock. There we go. Signature car for him. Rudy. A little way off in the distance now. Bruno's last lap was a 1:21, so a bit of time lost there. Marius leading this race at the moment. So obviously Marius doing quite well for himself in car number 50. Some might be arguing that his Formula One career is creating this type of scenario for him, because he is racing for the Sarko team at the F1, as well as another teammate, Ross, in 5th position at the moment. So yeah, these guys are doing exceptionally well in this LMP2 format. Nevertheless, let's have a look at Bruno. Had a huge error, giving him a 1 minute 21. That's not a normal time for him. Fuel load is getting a little bit lighter, so we do expect to see these guys making it through. 29 minutes, just over 29 minutes to go, and 13 laps completed. Can we find Jakes? There he is for the Black Mambas. Seems to be handling it very, very nicely at the moment. In car number 44. And just ahead of him, 8 seconds, is Bruno. And just behind him, around about 3 seconds, and closing, is Turbo Charles. Let's go back with Turbo Charles just to see where he's coming through. Maybe give you a pit indication, or in the cockpit, just to see where he's going. So you can see Jake's just ahead of him. And it was a little bit tricky at one stage. So already on lap number 15, 27 minutes left of driving. And I can tell you now, Marius really comfortable. Looks as though he's done a splendid job and is pushing away at the moment. 11 seconds ahead of Bruno. So that's really a great effort from him. One would obviously say that this is one of his favorite tracks. And remaining out there, around about 16 liters of fuel left. Just look at Bruno there. He's got about 20 liters of fuel left. Oh, a little bit out there. Try to get that too smooth. 26 liters of fuel left here. So obviously Bruno and Marius putting the pedal to the metal, and obviously with a rich enrichment there, just to maintain that. Let's have a look now. 17 laps on Turbo Charles, so you can see how he's been pushing it to get himself out there. Now, looking at round about 9 liters of fuel, so this means we do see that Ross will have to pit quite soon in order to get himself out there. And it might be the strategic point to get in there, put some fuel in, and then that's what I would actually... 31 seconds though, so that could be in play this evening. 11 liters of fuel left there, and 9 liters. So we're going to have a influx of fuel filling in the next couple of minutes. Rock's got 17, and Rudy if that's correct, is actually 27 liters of fuel. So let's go back on board with Marius at the moment just to have a look. where he is on this track. Obviously coming up to the big hill. We see Mazda's the Mazda twist, and there we go into that almost deep dive section. And does he come in now? Because fuel is sitting at 12.7 liters. He stays out. What about this gentleman, who's coming up on the back markers at the moment? He's got 16 liters of fuel. Jake's also in the same realm. Right, let's go back to Turbo Charles now. Seems to be quite comfortable. Now coming back there, it says 12.9 liters of fuel left. Here is where I said that Ross is definitely going to have to make a serious choice now. Is he going to be able to get around this track one more time? And then he's going to have to go for fuel. He's on 5.21 liters of fuel now. So definitely looking. Here we go. It could be Ross has to really look at what he's doing now, because if we talk about 3.6 liters of fuel left, is he going to make it around this track now? Going on board, 10.1 liters of fuel left. Ross now has to really watch himself. He's gonna see. Here we go. Marius in the pits at the moment. Let's be on board with him, because he only had 8.6 liters of fuel left. Does this mean now that Bruno goes ahead? You can see that time swishing through. And there we go. Bruno leads this race on lap number 20. Who else is coming past? That's the question. Bearing in mind, let's go and see. Let's see what Ross does. Ross now. He's going to have a problem, guys. I'm almost sure that Ross is going to run out of fuel. Or he's really pulled off a good one. Because as you can see, remaining at this point in time, I don't know. If that fuel consumption gauge is correct, he's going to run out of fuel. Currently on fumes. As I'm looking at that fuel gauge, it absolutely says 00, so it might be that we're actually getting not the correct information from that steering wheel. Technical problems come about. Jake's moved up into second position, and I mean that's an interesting one as we stand. So going back on board with Marius at the moment, he's obviously got to climb his way up as he comes past Ross now. Or is he going to get past Ross? Big racing going on. A little bit of a nudge there. Uncalled for, gives the position back. That's the problem in these LMP2s. To actually see the opposition behind you can be quite difficult. I'm hoping no damage was done to that car because Marius was doing so nicely and that he doesn't need to have that happen to him. He's got to watch himself. So Turbo Charles in to the pits at the moment. Jake's has come past already. Bruno's come past. That means right now Ross is going to go into third spot. But he has to pit at some time or other. There you go. Marius goes past. As we speak there. Looking to hunt down this man, Jakes. Bruno leading the squad. Does he go in to the pits now? No, he doesn't. So 23 laps done, 16 minutes left in this entire race. And boy, it's been an exciting one to watch this evening. Jake still got that time penalty. Turbo Charles down into 6th spot at the moment. He's had that pit stop, so he can comfortably make it to the end of this race. Put in around about 40 liters of fuel. So 15 minutes done. Till this is done, should I say, 15 minutes now. And comfortably on track to get himself in. There we go. Bruno's gone into pits now. Jake's means it depends now. Is he going to stay in or is he going to go? He's staying out. And this is what makes this so exciting, man. You can see these guys are really just trying to give it. And there we go. There they do it. Jake's leading this race in lap number 25 now. So Marius has been the leader of this race. Bruno, the leader of this race. Marius, the leader of this race. And now it's really in Jake's hands. He still has to pit though. So nice for the time being. But let's see what he's going to do. 14 minutes left in this race. Oh, a little bit wide there, Jakes. You got to watch it. Let's bring it back to Bruno. He's now on Jakes' tail. He's looking to come past him. Does Jake stay in? He stays on track. Back down to Bruno at the moment. So 25 laps completed. 13 odd minutes to go. Heavy on the brakes is Jake's at the moment. You can see how close this is. Nice tight driving from Bruno. Marius up into third position. We're going to go back on board with Bruno because of that triangle, because that's obviously indicating where we're having a lovely battle. So, quick update. Here, Turbo Charles is down in 6th position. Colin in 5th. Ross in 4th, as we currently stand. Marius in 3rd. Bruno in 2nd position. And Jake's running the show at the moment. Is he going to take a sharp in dive for the pits in this particular round as we come round to almost the final corner where the pit lane is available? Let's see if he stays out or goes in. He stays out. So I think Jake's actually went for extra fuel, if I'm not mistaken. He must have. So he stayed competitive. Let's see. I mean, looking at the fuel gauges at the moment, you can see he's got remaining, it says about 3 liters left. But as we saw with Ross, it took a little bit more time. So maybe the electronics has gone a little bit haywire. But you can see we're on board with Bruno at the moment. Sneaking up on Jake's as we come past one of the back markers now. I'm sure the pit crew is wailing at Jake's at the moment, calling him to come in. 9 minutes left. So under 10 minutes left in this racing. What a thriller it's been. And you can see how close Bruno is actually on Jake's at the moment. Trackside we go to. Now there, that gives you an indication of how close it is. Murray is closely followed behind his teammate Bruno there. And there we go. It's really close. Once again, you can see how close it is. And there, oh, it's so close from Bruno trying to get past there. Oh, just a little bit of a mistake, but I don't think that's going to hold him back, because I think now he's seen that opportunity. He might try and take that dive bomb opportunity when it's safe enough to do so. And let's see. Both of them really holding on to one another. And you can see that catching up from Marius as well. Absolutely wonderful times coming through. I mean, there you go, 1 minute 13.721. And you can see that Bruno is all over Jake's at the moment. And then you've got coming up right behind him now is this absolutely fantastic drive by this driver, who is Marius at the moment. You can see all of them focused on getting past Jake's at the moment. Lap number 31, 6 minutes left. Is it about preservation? Oh no! It looks as though Marius just lost it in a big way there. He was really pushing himself to get by. And there we go, once again being held off. I don't think it's stopping Marius now, because he wants to come back in a big way. So just to give you an update, if you are watching, it's Jake's, Bruno, Marius, Ross, Colin, Turbo Charles, Quicksilver, Rock and Rudy. 9 competitors left, and there we go, up along the side. He comes past him. Is he able to do so? He does do it right now. Bruno moves into that first position. This doesn't mean that Jake's has given up in any sense of the word, because right behind him now is Marius. So Marius on the tail of Jake's at the moment. The Black Mamba split between the two of the teammates here. And I can tell you now, the pressure's on. Oh, it looks as though too much speed from Marius, nearly going right into the back of Jakes at the moment. But great avoidance from his side. One could say that Marius looks to be a hell of a lot quicker. But I can tell you now, Jakes is a lot wider. He's really making it difficult for Marius to get by him at this point in time. Bruno's now putting on a little bit of a distance between himself and Jakes. He's got to watch himself through this side. Keep those tires on the black. Nicely done. Car number 44 being chased by car number 50. And you can see, looking to go on the outside. He should pull back nicely now. Doesn't manage to squeeze his way past. But there is the in-turn. Prevents a bit of a lane excursion there. And I can tell you now, it is something to watch at this point in time. Can we go on board? Definitely we can. Let's have a look at it. Oh, Marius trying to squeeze his way at any opportunity to see if he can outsmart Jakes at this point in time. Pushing anywhere he can. And we can watch it now. Marius definitely seems to have the quicker car. But as I mentioned, Jakes is a lot wider than he thinks. Nice tuck in there. Really holding it. Beautiful line going through. Here we go now. Jakes managing to just push Marius away. And it seems so elegant to actually watch these guys drive, because here we go. They're going to be moving up, looking for that opportunity up into those gears, pushing it through, keeping it tightly tucked into this left-hander, into a extreme left hand, and down into the dip. Does he get it past? He's got to watch himself. Pushing, pushing, not giving up. 1 minute left. Does Jakes finish ahead of Marius? If there's any opportunity, it's going to be taken now by Marius, because we are almost into the last minute of this race. Here we go. We're in to the last minute of this race. Does Marius manage to get past? No, he doesn't. He's really going for the second position. Jakes just loses it a little bit. Here comes the inside. Amazing drive. Is he going to go tight? Trying to hold it there. You can see, as I mentioned, Jakes keeping that car as wide as possible. Really holding his lines. Here we go into 20 seconds. Is it over and done with? And can Marius now make the opportunity to get past in the last 10 seconds? Here we go. 7, 5, 4, and does not manage to get past. There we go. Race completed. What an exciting finish that was for us here at Sarko this evening. I tell you what, one great race to watch. This LMP2, what an exciting finish. And let me just confirm that for you. Bruno, and by the way, obviously Jake's had that penalty, so he loses that second position. He put on such a great fight, and I feel so sorry for him. But Marius definitely pushed his way all the way back up there and held on tight to ensure that even with that time penalty, he would move into second position. So I do feel for Jakes, but unfortunately, it doesn't get past that particular point. Then we have Ross in fourth position. In fifth position, it was Turbo Charles, Collins in sixth, Quicksilver in seventh, Rock in eighth position, and in ninth position was Rudy. So, guys, it's been exciting to bring you all of it. I think great racing by all. Probably listening to what's going on amongst the chat, and hopefully I'm a little bit above them at the moment, bringing you all of what has happened this evening. So it was absolutely fantastic to watch, and I can tell you now what a great race it has been. There are the final positions and obviously the times that were done. The best laps obviously done by Marius there, really pushed himself to that 1 minute 12 8:36, even with that heavy car. So it's been an absolute pleasure. Don't forget, next week Thursday it is the E90 BMW touring cars. Hopefully we'll be having Dylan back in the seat. We wish you all the best, mate. Please get well. You know, it's not fun not having you in amongst the crew as well. So greatly appreciated for the time, guys. Thank you for joining us, and have a blessed week. And if you are in South Africa, enjoy Monday off. And it's been an exciting one to bring to you this evening here at Sarco. And it's always good. Remember, if you are looking for a league to get involved, just look on for the Sarco Facebook page, and obviously get yourself involved. Drive safely, keep well, and all the best. God bless.